Morning, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to Wes's Angling. You're joining me for a morning's carp fishing today. It's just turned first light. We're going to be using two different methods today and we're going to set them against each other. So on the left hand rod I'm going to have the method feeder out, and on the right hand rod I'm going to have a PVA bag setup out with a Ronnie rig on and a slightly bigger wafter. So I've already got some bait from yesterday. We went fishing yesterday. You'll no doubt have seen the video by now. So I've got some of the aqua stim already mixed there, and then I've got some PVA bags that I've tied up. Some of them have got particles in and some of them have got pellets and ground bait in. So a couple of different types to try. I'm going to be using a pineapple wafter probably on the right hand rod. I might swap them over during the day just so it's a fair test, but we'll see which method comes out on top today. I've not set the rods up yet. I'm going to take you through the full setup process and the rigs just so you know exactly how we're fishing. Also, I've got these to try out today. I've got them off eBay. I was absolutely sick of my bobbins, the chain snapping on them, so I've got these swing arm bobbins, so we'll give them a go. I'm not expecting to catch loads of fish today. It is still cold, but hopefully we manage a few for you, and it's a good test of these different methods. So we haven't got loads of time today, so I'm going to stop rabbiting on now and we'll get into the setup. Let's get the lid back on them PVA bags so they aren't melting. So I'm going to be using a 10mm wafter on the method feeder and a slightly bigger wafter on the Ronnie rig with a size 8 hook. So let's find our 10mm. There we go, 10mm pink bandum wafter. That's what we're going to be using on the method feeder. So we'll stick that in there, and let's see if we can find my wafters. There they are. And a pineapple wafter on the Ronnie rig. They're about 12mm them, so slightly bigger, but you need a slightly bigger wafter because we're going to be using a bigger hook on the Ronnie rig. So I'm just going to put these rods together and we'll get the method feeder out first because that'll be the easiest to set up. These are just my Grace Prodigy TX 1 1/4 test curve rods, which will be fine for any fish that are in here. They go to about £18. The vast majority of them are around £5, but I'll take them all day long at this time of year. That's not to say that we're going to be catching them all day long, but hopefully. I live in hope. Oh, those geese are loud today. We're going to be fishing until about 1-2 o'clock today. It's 7:15 now. I want to get a rod out as soon as I can, so at least I'm fishing. Early start today, obviously. As a lot of you know, I am driving from Manchester and I usually fish Chorley Wigan way, fisheries around there. There's not much around Manchester in terms of fisheries. There's definitely more this way. Okay, let's get our method feeder stuff. So I'm going to need a method feeder rig and scissors, and also a banjo feeder. That'll do us. Just check I've gone through all my eyes before I set up. Yeah, it looks alright. As a lot of you know, I don't really like setting up on the bank. I prefer to have everything already set up so I can literally just get fishing. But for the purposes of this video, I've not set anything up so you can see the full process. So just threaded the tail rubber on there of the banjo feeder. Banjo feeder's on. Just need to thread the insert in. Now, I usually tie these on with a little bit of a loop, the pegs that go into the inserts. So I usually use a figure of 8 loop knot and just try and get it as close as I can, wet me knot, to the end. I feel like a loop works better and it's going to be much stronger than tying it directly to the plastic. There we go. Then what we want to do is push our insert into the bottom of the mould. Push the peg in a little bit, but just showing the hook on the peg. Pick a appropriately sized method feeder hook. What should we use? Let's use a size 10. These are a decent sized method feeder hook, because we're using a big wafter, you see. This is on 8-pound line. Again, should be big enough to handle anything that's in there, but look at that. That's a perfect method feeder rig, self-tied. If you want to know how to tie up the method feeder rigs, I'll put a video for you in the top right hand corner now. Just push that insert back in, push the tail rubber onto the back of the method feeder. That's meant to stop the method feeders coming off. Make sure it's on tight. There we go, perfect, ready to go out that. So let's get it out. Method feeder's going to have a little bit of a head start on the PVA bag, but that's fine. Just mixed up some aqua stim yesterday. I might need to mix a little bit more up at some point today. That mix is perfect actually. So put a tiny bit of ground bait and pellets in, then the wafter over the top. Plenty in on this first cast. I might even double load it. Let's double load it. That's on tight, perfect. Brilliant, that wind's picking up. I want the wind blowing right into me here, and I'm gonna go probably 3/4 of the way out, so it's gonna be a decent way out, this one. Right, that's fishing. Swing arm bobbing. He's on. Got a little bit more weight to him than the mother bobbins because of the metal arm, but that's fine. Rod tips need to be down a touch, I think. Now, for all you guys out there that aren't really into carp fishing, and you know, you do more match fishing or method feeder fishing, and you're not confident in a Ronnie rig setup, it's so easy, honestly, and it's such an effective method, and it helps you target slightly bigger fish as well. I'll show you how it's tied up. I'll explain to you the mechanics behind it and the rig that I've got set up. Oh no, it's raining. Dad's not got his brolly either. I don't think it'll be a long shower. It's blue skies over there. Right, so we've got ourselves enough line to work with there. We're going to need a couple of things. Very simple setup. Got my carp rig box there. So I've got my bag of leads here. Now what I normally do is I'll just pop the insert out. Okay, so that's all you're left with, just the lead. Then I've got some of these tail rubbers. This is just a normal green tail rubber, and that actually goes inside the lead there, and this is going to be a semi-fixed rig. Okay, and you'll see why in a second. I usually use a length of rig tubing with this, so that's my length of rig tubing. I'm just threading the rig tubing down the line. Can be a little bit fiddly. I usually do this at home before I'm out on the bank. Not using loads of rig tubing, probably only half a foot there. Then lead goes back on. You want the big side facing forwards where the insert was. And I'm just going to slide them down the line, put my tail rubber on. Then we're going to need to grab a size 8 quick change swivel. Going to tie that on with a uni knot, nice strong knot. So make a loop underneath the line, take the tag end and just wrap it around the line. You won't be able to see any of this on the GoPro, I understand that, but I'll do a proper video at some point in depth. Hopefully you'll pick up bits. So I'm just wrapping that tag end round both sections of the line. Probably about 10 times. Wet the knot, ease it down. And that knot is very strong. Fishing 10-pound line today. More than confident that that's not going to get broke at this time of year, and it's a little bit more incognito. It's going to be leaving a tiny bit of a tag end there. It doesn't need to be trimmed neat. Then what I want to do is bring my rig tube back up the line, just warm it up and straighten it out a bit. See that? Just warming it up in my fingers, straighten it out. I usually use a lot longer piece of rig tubing, but I just want to be a little bit more incognito at this time of year. So just wetting the rig tube, I'm just going to slide it into the end of that tail rubber. Just twist and ease it in. So the point of the rig tubing is, with this being a semi-fixed running rig, your lead or your inline lead insert there is going to be sliding up and down that tail rubber when you're playing the fish. Okay, it might go onto the main line, but it's not going to cut the main line. It's fairly smooth on the inside of that lead, but you'll find that it usually stays on the tail rubber as you're playing the fish. So you'll find that the fish bolts off with the rig. This lead will come out because it's only gently pushed in, so that'll pull out and slide up and down the line as you're playing the fish, but that stops the fish being able to throw the hook using the weight of the lead. So that's the reason for it, and this just protects your line, this little bit of tail rubber there, and that just lays flat on the bottom. Pretty incognito. Right, let's get a rig on there. Hopefully I've got some pre-tied up, but I've not had a look at my rig box in a while. I usually have a few Ronnie rigs made up. Oh yeah. Right, so let's use this rig here. So all I've got is a small section of stiff coated braid, which goes to a Ronnie rig but with the big O-ring cut off. So that's literally just a Ronnie swivel, bit of rig tubing, and then a size 8 curved shank hook. You've got a little hook stop there that just stops this bait screw coming off, and that's what we're going to screw into the wafter. And you'll find that the wafter will sit flat on the bed, just gently waving in the water, so all that'll be flat on the bottom. Like I say, only a short rig going to the lead, and I just need to slide on a tiny bit of a tail rubber. I'll use one off one of these other rigs and trim it down, and that'll just go over the swivel and stop the rig coming off. There we go. So that's literally it. Let's put it on the swivel. Just normal size 8 quick change swivel. That's pulled in. Then we'll pull our little bit of rig tubing, tail rubber, sorry, over the end, and that's going to stop the rig coming off, and everything's tight into there. You want it to have as much free movement to spin as possible. So very simple rig, I hope you agree. Let's put a wafter on it and get it out. I'm going to go with a pineapple sticky baits. These are my favourite out of all the flavours. Again, just a size 8 Fox curved shank hook. Very sharp. Don't need anything too massive on here. And that's literally just screwing down onto the bait screw, and that'll sit on the bottom flat, and that wafter will just have free movement up and down that hook until it's taken. That lead insert will pull out, and that you'll be free to play the fish there. And usually what will happen is the bait will fall back down the shank of the hook, so you've got a good contact with the fish and a good hook hold. Right, let's get a PVA bag on, get it cast out. Gonna go with particles. Quite a big bag of particles because I made them in autumn, but they've lasted. And I'm just going to hook that over, round, back through a couple of times. That'll be fine for the cast. I'm going to go straight out from here. Sink my line. It's proper died off, that wind. Right, got both rigs fishing there. Confident that'll be sat nicely on the bottom once that PVA bag breaks down. We're good to go. Let's see if we get anything. My dad's just fishing double method feeders today. What have you got? Pink wafter on one and Scopex on the other? I'm going to give these Aquastim Scopex liver a try, so I'll let you know if we catch on them today. Got his double specimen rods like mine. I bought some because he's got some, obviously. 1 1/4 test curve. Look at his milk bottle bobbins, look. Massive. He's fishing probably 30 foot out there. In winter here they tend to hold to the middle, but it is starting to warm up a touch now. Right folks, I'll switch you back on with any updates and if we get a fish. So I've just been talking to one of my subscribers, Chris, who's fishing the same lake as us here at Harry's. He's fishing a little bit further down that side. And he come last week after obviously watching our videos and the recommendations, and he had 12 fish out of here. So there's nothing that I want more than you guys to come out on the bank and be successful catching fish. So that's awesome to hear, and if you do see me on the bank, I'm no problem with you coming over saying hello and we'll have a chat. So far it's really quiet today. There's absolutely no fish activity. I've not seen any topping, I've not seen any swirls, I've not seen any bubbles coming up, which is quite unusual for Harry's. It's not a great sign, but we're going to stick at it. Fingers crossed we get at least one fish today and save the blank. But at least I've taught you through the methods. The methods are sound, they do work. The same methods that I've used time and time again and caught plenty of fish on. You just got to stick at it. You've got to be confident in your methods and be able to leave your rods in at this time of year. Not move around too much, not switch up too much. You want to be leaving your rods in at least 45 minutes to an hour, especially on quiet days like this. If you're getting multiple bites, then you can cast out more often if you're on top of the fish. You know, some days during the winter the fish will be really on it and you'll have to cast out more frequently, get that better bait built up. I'll make you a promise again, if we don't catch in today's episode, then I'll give away a Westie's Angling beanie in black or green. So to be in with a chance of winning that, all you need to do is make sure you've commented down below, be subscribed to the channel and share the video with an angling friend, and you'll be in with a chance of winning one. Hopefully you'll get a couple of months use out of it before it starts getting too warm to wear a beanie. So there you go, that's a Westie's Angling beanie. So make sure you've commented, be in with a chance of winning one of those. I just pick somebody at random, usually after a couple of weeks or when the video gets 3,000 or 4,000 views. This left hand rod's been in about, I don't know, 40 minutes now. So I'm going to give it another 5 minutes and then we'll recast it. Right, let's get this method feeder cast back out. Whether this is just too big a wafter for this time of year, that might be the case as well. Maybe I'm going in a little bit too heavy, but I'm trying to target some of the better fish that are in here. There are a lot of F1s, a lot of smaller carp. Not that an F1 or a smaller carp can't take this 10mm wafter, but there you go. So let's go, just a short overarm here. It's a bit of a flick out. Bit closer in. I'm going to leave that Ronnie rig out. Plenty of bait around that. So we're about 2 hours into the fishing now. Absolutely not a sniff of a bite, not a liner, not anything. What I might do, the only other thing that I'm going to try is I'm going to swap the right hand rod, which has obviously got the bigger wafter on and the Ronnie rig, over towards the middle. So I'm going to swap the rods around and we'll put the method feeder straight out here, a little bit closer in. So that's what I'm going to try on my next cast. I'm just going to work one rod further out and one rod closer in. At this point I'd be happy just saving the blank, so anything we can catch. It's mostly carp in here, and if they're not on the feed, they're not on the feed. You're struggling, and it is really cold. It's due to go a lot colder next week as well. I think we're due a bit of snow and coming up to minus temperatures again, which I thought we were over the worst of that, but obviously we're not. Welcome to the UK, eh? But I think we're used to that in the UK, so we'll crack on with it. I've actually got a specimen session booked on Cudmore a little bit later on in March, so that'll be an exciting one to keep your eyes open for. Hopefully we manage a couple of decent carp or cats out of there. Well, hopefully we catch a fish today as well, but at the moment it's not looking hopeful. Right folks, let's get them recasting. I'm going to go further out, I think, and I'm going to swap the rods over. So let's get our Ronnie in. It's the first time I've brought it in today. Not had any takes on it or anything. Just a little side note as well, when you're fishing with a Ronnie rig, you want your hook stop just in line with where the barb should be. Obviously these are barbless, but if it did have a barb on it, you want to be across there, or at least just across from just before the hook point, just to give it a little bit of movement there. Right, okay, that's that one in, because we're going to put that one on this side, swap them over. Little bag of particles. Be able to cast this a little bit further, you see. It's going to be a decent old cast, this. Good at casting these Grace Prodigy rods though. So I want to be straight out there. Right, my dad's swim. Oh, Dad's got to run. We'll go and have a look at that in a second. Let's get this back on. He was fishing further out. Get it up and out of them, out the middle there, Dad. Hey, are we going to save the blank? Not speak too soon. Is it out the snags?
Yeah.
Is it a smaller fish? Yeah, keep the tension on. Is that further towards the middle?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just shows you. Get your net, Dad. Nice one, though. Oops. And the pink wafter strikes again. Save the blank. Well done, Dad. Hooked perfectly in the side of the mouth. Nice common. Yeah, it's pristine, that fish. Still got its barbels and everything. No, it hadn't at all. Just shows you if you land on the fish, they'll take it. There we go. At least we've saved the blank for you, or at least my dad has. On the pink wafter. Always. I'm actually going to put some attractant on there as well, just to give us a little bit of an extra boost, I think. What have we got? Some washed out goo on there. Again, on the same rod, bit of a drop back there. Good sign though, they're obviously in the middle, aren't they? Stuck you off there. That's a better fish there, isn't it? Get your rod tip high. Oh, you can't really get it any higher, can you? Once it's out there, you can take it easy. You pulled out?
I think it's pulled out. Fish that.
Well, you couldn't really let it run anymore because of the snags that are down there. You need to get on them and get it up, and that was on a Scorpex. There you go.
Fish, that.
Yeah, it was taking line. Scorpex liver. Aquastem. Yeah, in here you need to really get on them and put pressure on them and get your rod tip high like he was doing then, and get them out of the snags that are in the middle. So you can't really let them run as the fish was doing, unfortunately. But they're clearly in the middle, aren't they?
Yeah.
Maybe if you move your rods over, and I'll put my rods a little bit closer to the middle.
Yeah.
Right, so he's gone too far. He's definitely in the snags there. So that was a long cast. Oh dear. Is that how far it was last time?
Yeah.
To the other bank? Okay, so I've just made a bit of a move and recast the Ronnie rig back out. I'm on the left hand side of my dad now, just so I can get better access towards the middle. Obviously my dad's getting them down this centre line of the lake. Now there's so many snags there, and he's already potentially got caught up in one of those snags. So we just need to be really careful, get straight on the fish, get the rod tip high and get them out of the hole. There's actually boulders in that hole as well, so it is really snaggy. We've just got to be careful. But I should be fishing strong enough to land anything that I manage to hook that's in there. Using a nice strong hook length. They're a fairly heavy duty size 10 feeder hook these, so should be fine. And fingers crossed we don't get snagged. But that's the risk that we're taking. I'm prepared that I might lose a couple of feeders here, but if I lose a feeder and we get a couple of fish, it's been worth it. So got the Ronnie over there, method feeder straight out. Let's see if I can manage to get anything. We've probably got another 3 hours of fishing left, so plenty of time now that I know that we're on top of the fish. We've got 4 rods out all down this centre line, right in the snags. We just need to pray that we don't get caught up in any. Literally just cast this one in and I've already had a liner. Great sign. Shows that you're in the right place there. So the layout of this lake is, it originally was a much smaller lake, which is why there's quite a deep drop off in the centre that's got a couple of boulders in and things like that around the outside of it. Now he's obviously extended the lake at some point, so what you find is there's a deeper part here in a big ring around the lake. Then you've got your central lake, which used to be the old lake, which has got boulders and snags around it, so it makes it very difficult to fish in the middle. But unfortunately at this time of year that's where they are, so that's where you need to be fishing. You just need to be fishing strong enough to be able to deal with it. I'm a little bit more hopeful in this peg now that my dad's had a couple of fish. Oh, I'm into a fish and all. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Oh, GoPro in the snags. I've got it out. Oh, no, it's pulled out. So it just shows you folks, doesn't it, that you get on the fish like this. We've had absolutely nothing all morning. We find out where they are, and then we're just getting run after run towards the middle. We're not managing to obviously land any. Whether that's because of the fish throwing the hooks from the snags, I don't know, or whether it's because we're putting too much pressure on them, trying to get them out of the snags, which is pulling the hooks out. That could be another reason, but I'd rather lose a fish than get caught up in the snags, I think, now that we know where they are. I think the next one I'll take a little bit easier, just try and play it a little bit more gently. You can kind of calm down a bit with them once you've got them up and over the ridge of the old lake. Look at this stuff's on here. He's forgot his brolly. Not doing much for me, mine either though. Chair's getting soaking wet. Come and sit under here, Dad. Oh no, I've just sat on me cup. Luckily it didn't break. Go through so many of them cups. What a horrible day today. Cold and wet. That's the worst combination. Chucking it down. Well folks, we thought we'd cracked it, but it seems to have gone really quiet. And I'm not sure why. Just can't predict it, can you? I've had a couple of bleeps on me Ronnie rig. Cast that out as a single hook bait this time. But method feeder's gone dead. Same on my dad's side as well. Oh dear. Keep at it. Got another hour and a half-ish of fishing left. Easily get 4 fish in that time, can't we? I was literally just about to recast this as well. Just going to take it easy. It's on a pink waft to this. Oh, don't want it to get me over the line. It's coming in, so it's got me over the line. I'm just going to try and get it under it. I think we're out of it. I don't know how far away it is. It's coming closer. It's not taking any line yet. It's like, it won't be massive. Save the blank, I was just going to say. I'm going to have one last cast and call it a day. I was just about to recast back in, literally that second. It just shows you. Just got to be patient at this time of year. You wouldn't have been catching out on that, would you? Just letting the rod do the work and take all the lunges. Got a lovely progressive action, these Grace Prodigy rods. It's not massive at all, it's tiny. Fighting well though. Still a welcome fish at this time of year. Dad, got fish on the other one. On the Ronnie. Double hook up, and I was just about to reel him in. I need to get this unhooked and claim the other one. Don't rush it, Dad, take it easy. Let's get this one back in and then I'll take over on mine. Lovely fish. Have you got it? Yeah. Cheers, Dad. Oh, it's taking line. Was it snagged at the start, or is it just a, do you think it's just an heavy fish?
No, I think it might have been snagged at first.
Just about to reel them both in. Oh, it's a nice carp, that. Wow. Oh my god, that's why it felt like it was snagged. Really nice carp. I think this is going to be the biggest fish we've caught out of here. It's huge. Might be one to weigh, I think, Dad. Not weighed a fish in a while, have we? Oh, it's got a right belly on it, you know. Absolute chunk. Crumper of a carp. I'm glad I put that little bit of rig tubing on, because that leads up and down that line. They don't normally fight this hard at this time of year, do they? It's coming up. Can you get out there a little bit further with the net? It's alright, it's coming. Can you get it? Oh, Dad. Oh, the tension. I didn't want to put too much pressure on it. It's coming. It's coming. Go on, get under it. There we go. We're in. Yeah! Look at that thing, eh? Let's get it on the mat. Is it a good one?
What do you think?
Oh my god, look at that! Oh, look at that! Oh, it's a crumper. Right, let's get it weighed. That is me bigger nets. So there you go. That's on the Ronnie rig. Let's get that Ronnie rig out of it. Perfectly up though, in the side of the mouth. It's got a firm belly on it. I'm gonna weigh it. It's definitely a double that, isn't it? So just before we weigh it, I'm just going to wet the net. It's better for the fish. It's okay. We've got it there. So what we're guessing, folks, I'm going to go just over 10.
I'm going to go 12.
12 and a half. You reset that as well?
Yeah. 12 4.
12.4.
12.4 I'll give you.
What a stunning fish. We'll get a couple of pictures for it with it and then I'll get it back, but stunning common carp. Great fish for here, that. It's the biggest fish we've caught in here. Easily. Got an absolute belly on it. Oh. Right, I'm going to cast back out, but cracking fish. Chuff with that. Made the day. Yeah, worth coming out for that. Oh. I'll let it recover because it's been out a couple of minutes. Awesome. Epic. Woo! Just shows you perseverance pays off sometimes, especially when it comes to fishing. Size 8. Size 8. Are them fox curve shanks that you got? Yeah, you've got some of them. So that was literally just cast out as a single hook bait. I didn't have any PVA bag on it or anything like that. The fish has obviously found it, snuffled it, and what a lovely fish, £12.4. So I'm just going to get this single hook bait back out. Got time for one last cast before we need to pack up. And that was just lined up with them rocks on the far side. But Ronnie rig's done its job perfectly. Really good hook hold on it. It's obviously spun round, caught it in the corner of the mouth, which is what you want. And that's another nice fish to the pineapple wafters. That smaller carp I had just before it took a 10mm, washed out. Let's get this one back out as well. Luckily my dad managed to get it out of the snags at the beginning, so a bit of skillful angling on my dad's part there, and managed to get it. Oh. Right, let's get this feeder back out. So that's 1-1 at the minute on the little challenge that we're doing. Oh my god, we've got another fish, it's going straight off. I just cast that back out on a single hook bait. Oh, I hope I was filming that. Oh dear. Yeah. Scott, it's swimming towards us fast. Oh, this shows you that big baits catch small fish, doesn't it? Oh, it's shot off. God, it's all over the place. What's it doing? Oh God, it's a feisty one, that. I was just about to cast my method feeder back out. Oh dear. Pineapple wafters in the lead. Ah, we'll try and get them both back out. I must have landed it on its nose. Right, it's getting back out. Well folks, I'm honestly chuffed with how today's sessions turned out. Obviously the Ronnie rig and the PVA's come up on top for today, but only one more fish ahead of the method feeder. So it's hardly a definitive choice, but we've caught, and that's the main thing. Just a little bit of fun with a method comparison, just to keep it interesting for everybody. Don't forget to comment for your chance to win that Westies Angling beanie this episode. Or if you've got any questions about the rigs and methods that I've used today, don't be scared to comment. So once again, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next Westies Angling.